Perfect, perfect, perfect.
What is going on, everybody? How are you guys doing? I go by RB, and this is Philly Take with RB. If you guys have not taken a second to like the video, go ahead and do that. And hey, if you're not subscribed to the channel, well, click that subscribe button, man. So, as you guys saw in the beginning of the video, Tim Jernigan, former Eagles defensive tackle, despite announcing a couple months back that he was going to sign with the Houston Texans on a 1-year, $3 million something deal with $1 million guaranteed, he will not be signing with the Houston Texans. Now, I just want to give my instant thoughts on this. I believe that this could be a blessing in disguise for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Howie and these boys could really capitalize on a missed opportunity by the Houston Texans. But I mean, hey, I don't blame Timmy Jernigan. I do not want to go play for the Houston Texans and Bill O'Brien right now. But anyway, guys, first off, Timmy Jernigan, he knows the Philadelphia Eagles system, right? You know, he played a couple years with Baltimore, had like 4 or 5 sacks a year. And let me just say this first and foremost. Timmy Jernigan is not going to be your main, guy on a defensive line. We know that, right? He is a depth role player. He is not a superstar. He understands his role on a defensive line. Now, in terms of the Philadelphia Eagles, he came in 2017. He only had like 2.5 sacks, but he did start 15 games for us. He was our 4th starter, right? Defensive tackle. And coming over from a 3-4 scheme in Baltimore, he adjusted quite well to the 4-3 scheme run by Jim Schwartz here. And it was on a Super Bowl defense. I mean, I'm just speaking the facts. With guys, playing next to guys like Fletcher Cox, right? Fletcher Cox garnering all the attention that he did, even Brandon Graham that year. Timmy Jernigan was able to get a lot of one-on-one situations, and I thought he played pretty well. Obviously, it doesn't show as well in the numbers, but if you watch the games, like Timmy Jernigan would get some pressure on the quarterbacks. Like I said, he's not a superstar. He's not some high-caliber player by any means, but I thought he was a good role player here with the Eagles. Now, the injury bug, the last 2 years, he's played like 13 games combined. He's been hit by the injury bug. He had a bad neck injury. I think it was like a herniated disc or something. He was almost done for the career, and he had a foot injury and something else as well. But during this last season, when the Eagles went on this playoff run, Timmy Jernigan, he came back. I think he played like 9 games, started for us. And when all these guys, we see, especially over the last couple years, guys on this defense, on this team have been decimated by injury. So you can never have enough depth, especially in the trenches where Howie Roseman and the Eagles have always valued the position. So look at our options, right? Right now we have Fletcher Cox at D-tackle. We go and get Javon Hargrave. Our run stuffer defense is going to be insane. And Timmy Jernigan is more of a run stuffer himself. He's not the biggest guy, but he is a lot better at defending the run than he is, the pass. I'm not saying he can't rush the quarterback. He can, but he's obviously better against the run. But, so you have Cox and you have Hargrave, and obviously on the ends, we're expecting guys like Graham to start. We're expecting guys like Barnett to take a step up. In terms of the depth, we know, looking back at 2017, we needed guys to step in and live up to different roles that they had not been expected to, and that's exactly what they did, and that's exactly what they did like this last year as well. So I think if we go out and we were to sign Timmy Jernigan, right, it would be a great signing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Not only does he understand the culture, understand the locker room, know this team, but looking at, a guy like Malik Jackson, sure, I'm expecting him to contribute, but, last season he only played half of a game, I think like a quarter of a game, and he was gone for the year. So say he were to get injured, right? Or look at the other guys we have fighting for spots. Jannard Avery's going to be fighting. Hassan Ridgeway. What's that guy's name? Anthony Rush. Josh Sweat. All these guys are going to be fighting to fill that secondary line unit. And Tim Jernigan, I've seen him transition to different situations like I said he did with the Philadelphia Eagles. So sure, why not sign him if he's going to cost less? That is my, biggest point here. In terms of the Eagles, right? We've been talking about some of these guys, right? Like a Jadeveon Clowney, obviously defensive end. He's a lot better. He's, 26 years old. But do the Eagles really want to go out and pay a guy $15 to $20 million? I don't think so. Okay, let's talk about Everson Griffin, another guy that's been talked about. Sure, he had, 8 sacks last year. Great for the Minnesota Vikings, right? But he's 32 years old. He's getting up there. You can't really trust that body, right? Okay, well, Yannick Ngakoue, another defensive end. If the Eagles were to go out and get a guy like him, does he understand his role here? Do the Eagles even want to go out and spend a second rounder, a third rounder, maybe even a first rounder, depending on when they would, hypothetically pull the trigger? But what I do know is I enjoy Tim Jernigan's personality. I like how he approaches the game. And I like how he has played here in Philadelphia. He definitely understands what it means to be a role player. And I love the pressure and just some of the contributions Tim Jernigan has given to this team, especially during the Super Bowl year. Now, like we said, the biggest factor is reliability. Only playing a combined 13 games over the last 2 years. Is this guy going to stay healthy? That's ultimately the biggest question. But I am not opposed to going out, signing Tim Jernigan, and letting him battle it out in training camp or OTAs or whatever they decide to do, because hey, it's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt. Say we bring him in for $1 million or whatever, it doesn't work out, well, guess what? Goodbye. We have these other guys like I just mentioned. But if he does work out and he ends up blossoming and being that role player that we saw, like a guy in 2017, I think it would be great. It would save the Eagles cap space, and it would allow us to capitalize on an opportunity that we really have now fallen into potentially, and just like other teams as well. So I think it would be a great depth piece. I know a lot of Eagles fans like me probably appreciate, how Tim Jernigan was and just his style, his persona, you could say. I think this would be a great signing for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I really think Howie should get on the phone, call up his agent, and try to work something out here, kind of give him that little, you've been here in Philadelphia kind of speech, and try to see what you can do. Try to bring this guy back on a 1-year, cheap deal and see what happens from there. But like I said, down the stretch last season, Tim Jernigan put in at least a couple of good games that I can remember, and I think this will be a great signing for the Philadelphia Eagles. But you guys can let me know down below in the comments, should the Eagles pursue a guy like Tim Jernigan now that he supposedly is not going to the Houston Texans? Let me know all your guys' thoughts down below. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.